Okay, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get y'all caught up on how to make this 2-point perspective room. Okay, so we're going to go through all of the steps from doing the horizon line, vanishing points, and then getting to this point where it looks like we have a wall popping out. We can go around the corner. We're going to build in a balcony and some furniture in the front. But we're going to get to this point with this video. So what you're going to do is start out with your paper going horizontally or landscape orientation. You're going to be making a horizon line that is slightly above the center or the middle of the paper. Now, what you need to do, in order to make your perspective a little bit more easy and accurate, you're actually going to make your drawing space a little bit smaller than what the picture is going to be. So I'm just taking away approximately 1/2 inch from either side, and I'm also going to be taking away about 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. So just make sure you're as even as you can get, making sure that your drawing space is nice and square and well crafted. Now once you have cleaned up that drawing space, we're not going to be creating any images on this outside bit. This is just sort of a frame that's going to contain our images. So if it's going to help you, you can erase your corners on the left and right, top and bottom. And then what you're going to be doing is creating a vanishing point on the outside of your drawing space. This is probably the most important part. All right, so we're going to make, first off, to start, we need to create the corner of our room. We're going to build in a corner of our room. So you can see a little bit of a ghost line here. That's our first line that we're going to be creating. That first line needs to be sort of towards the right of your drawing space, and it's going to be longer at the top than it is at the bottom. So the most important thing, though, when you are creating one of these perspective drawings is you need to make sure that any vertical line that you make is truly vertical, nice and parallel with the side of your paper, and any side line actually goes towards a vanishing point. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line that's a bit longer at the top than it is at the bottom. And then to make the side walls, we're actually going to be using opposite vanishing points. So to make this wall, I'm going to be drawing towards my right vanishing point, and to be making my right wall, I'm going to be drawing towards my left vanishing point. So all I need to do is align the top of my vertical, the center, and my vanishing point over here on the right, and I'm just going to go right past my border line just to make sure I've made a complete line. I'm going to do that on the left side one time, and then again to make my wall come out on the left at the bottom, I'm just aligning my center of my vanishing point, my bottom, my vertical, and then drawing all the way to the edge there. So that is my left wall. My right wall is going to be the same thing, just orienting a slightly different way, going towards my left vanishing point. Make sure I'm aligning with my vertical, and then continuing. Same thing one more time. Vertical and down. Okay, so now at this point I've got the back corner of my room. I've got one wall, I've got another wall. So to make, let's go ahead and do the fireplace in the center. The fireplace in the center is flat to our face. It does not have perspective really. There's a little bit of perspective with the inset of the fireplace, but that's just a little bit of one point. That's kind of a real quick angle thing. There's nothing that you're actually drawing towards. So we're going to go ahead and make the fireplace that is flat to our viewpoint. So all you have to do when you're making that fireplace is you're going to take that ruler, come straight down, make sure that your ruler is parallel with your horizon line. The further down you come from this sort of triangular bit over here, the wider you can make your fireplace. So I'm going to go in there. This is probably 3/4 of an inch down from this little peak. And I'm going to make a nice flat, wide, I don't know, call it 1.5 inch line. From that point, I'm going to make 2 more edges of my fireplace. It angles up on the left, hits the wall, angles up on the right, and hits the wall. I am not drawing towards a vanishing point with this because this is something that's flat to my face. So to make the rest of that fireplace, all I'm going to do is draw straight up, and I'm going to make a line that goes slightly past the top corner of my wall. I'm going to do that with every turn of my line or every angle change. Now, when I do all this, I'm going to be eyeballing kind of measurements for my fireplace edge. So draw more up here than you think you need. You might need more length. So draw light. You're going to end up erasing a good bit. So again, any vertical that I make has to be nice and parallel with the side of my paper. And bada bing, bada boom. All right, so now at this point, I need to complete the top, and then I'm going to be doing some erasing on the inside. So for the top of my fireplace, I'm going to just go right on the in-between of my first set of lines, make sure I'm nice and parallel with my horizon line, complete that bit. And then all I'm going to be doing is mimicking my angles that I have down here at the bottom and complete it at the top. So to do that, actually I'm going to make this a little higher. I lied. Make that a little higher. Because I want to be able to come down to the corner in a comfortable manner. So make that, come to the corner, something like that. I'm going to make this shorter. Because you just want it to come to the corner. You don't want it to come to the flat of the wall. So if you need to make readjustments, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay. So that's a cleaner cut right there. You want it to stop at the corner of your wall. You don't want it to go too far past. And I'm just getting my lines back. All right, and then what I'm going to do is do the same thing over here. Connect it, make sure they're all coming from the same point. All right, so now I have a rough outline for where my fireplace is going to go, and now I need to get rid of all this stuff on the inside because this is a big solid bit. We're going to make lots of different angles to make it look like that fireplace is in front of the corner. So there's that. Okay, now to make the remainder of the fireplace, to make it look like we can put some logs in someplace, all I'm going to be doing is creating a little opening. And because everything right now is so hard lined and so straight, we're going to make the fireplace opening kind of a nice little arc. So real rough, I'm going to start to sketch it in. This is about 1 inch up. Then all I'm going to do is come in from the left and right, draw as evenly as I can, making an arc, and then I want to kind of do a little fake 1-point perspective. And this way I'm creating a nice opening that can then provide a space for some logs or whatever you got going on. Okay? So, little fireplace happening over there. Now, what we need to make next is a rough outline for our brick wall. And we also need a balcony on the side. So our rough outline for our brick wall, and this, I didn't leave myself too much space, but that's okay. We're going to leave just a little partial area. I'm going to come away from the right side of my fireplace. I'm going to come in there and make a nice vertical line. All right, and then what I want to do is make a little angle. Now this angle is not going to this vanishing point. It's actually, because it's another section of the house, it's going to some imaginary point way out here. So we don't need to be too concerned with what's going on. In terms of angles, if you can fake it a little bit, it's good. So all I'm doing is making a secondary line that comes from our little fake angle that we made, getting rid of any horizon line. Now this is going to turn in to grout, actually. It's going to turn into some of our lines for our bricks. So you can keep it, don't keep it lightly just to give yourself some guidance. It's pretty easy. Now to create those bricks, all I'm going to be doing is on this first line that I made is just make some dots that are kind of close to each other. This is going to be the height of our bricks, and all of these spaces, this is just so I keep my bricks looking even and well crafted, and all of these lines are going to go towards my opposite vanishing point. So to do that, if I'm working over here, you can see that all of my bricks are going towards this left vanishing point. And so that's what I need to do. I'm just going to use those dots that I initially made. You can sort of see my little ghost dots over here. And I'm going to go towards that left vanishing point. So just understand that your ruler is going to be shifting down as it stays on the opposite vanishing point. It's kind of like this big tilt. So you want to hit the middle of that X, make sure that everything's aligned, stop when you hit another line. And keep tilting, remeasuring, reassessing what your angle is doing. I have a lot of students, and they do it all the time, even though I warn them. They start on this angle, and then they stay on this angle, and they keep working their way down. So their final line for their brick or what have you does something like that. And that looks crazy pants. That's not right for a brick edge. So please make sure that you are readjusting your ruler every single time to ensure that it is looking in perspective. When we're above the horizon line, it goes down to the vanishing point. When we're under the horizon line, it goes up to the vanishing point. So every time you do a new dot, you've got to readjust and reshift. And you can do that. And you can see over here, when I'm below, I'll just skip around. When I'm below, it goes up. And when I'm at the horizon line, it just goes straight because it's right on that point of view, right on that eyesight. When you're making the bricks, and I'll just do a couple more lines so you can see. When you're on the bricks, and you need to make them look brick-like, you're going to be doing a slight angle down, and as you get closer to that horizon line, you can actually straighten out your line a little bit, and then you're going to start to pop up slightly as you are below the horizon line. Okay, so that's just going to be the side of our bricks. All right, the little room on the other side, all you're going to be doing is going above this opposite wall. I'm erasing some lines down there. Going above this opposite wall, and that little line goes to our opposite vanishing points. And that way we have kind of a corner that we can go around. You can do some shading behind it to make it look like we've got shadows. And then you can take your little finger or a blending stump and pull some of those shadows from behind. So again, folks that are here, you can, as you're watching this video back to complete this wall, take your time making sure that those bricks are aligned well. And when you do a little bit of value, you're just going to be sort of fading it out, easing up on your pressure as you come away from that wall. A brick pattern is going to be straight, completely vertical lines. So as you go and start to create that brick pattern, make sure that you're doing a running bonnet, it's called, where you are in between every other row creating spaces for those bricks. So as you do that, you're going to start to see that pattern occur, and you can start to make grout, and you can make thicker areas, and start to shade and customize. But again, this is all going to be done on your timing, so you don't need to rush through any of this stuff, okay? And you can mess around with how all of that occurs. All right, so for those of you who weren't here and need to know how to do a balcony, balcony is not too bad. You still have all your vanishing points that you're working with, and you still have all your ghost lines that you're working with. So to create a balcony, as we're working our way outside, what we need to do is do a top railing for our balcony. Actually, let's go ahead and do the floor for our balcony. Floor for our balcony just comes from this this left vanishing point, and I'm going to get in there and make a very light guideline. You can see if we were standing here in this room and we wanted to go outside, that would be our floor. So then we're going to have to end up doing a railing. So I'm going to get rid of this horizon line so it's just nice and ghost. So that railing is going to come from our right vanishing point. So what I want to do hold on. I'm going to do a few lines that I have to then go in there anyways. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, I've got my corner now that I've built up. I'm going to go towards my right vanishing point. Then I'm going to go towards my left vanishing point. And then I get rid of all that stuff. When I want to make the end of my balcony, I just use my right vanishing point and hit that part as well. Now I have a surface that I can walk out onto, and I can make planks or whatever just using my opposite vanishing point. So if I wanted to make it look like some wood or some sort of just decking material, all I'm doing is I'm shifting. Like so. And this is just real quick to give you an idea of different surfaces. So this is just the real rough lesson on how to do the walls, the floors, fireplaces, so on and so forth. All right, so far so good. We'll come back in here with a glass door and all sorts of stuff. But that is the end of part 1 of our Barbie's dream house. There you go.